All right, welcome to Game on the Table. This is Deep Space D6. Let's get started. I'm going to remove one Don't Panic card because I won last time with all 6 in there, and I want to up the difficulty every time I achieve a victory. So let's get our 2 first threats out. We got a Strike Bomber and Friendly Fire, which is a really lucky get early because there are no tactical dice to send to the infirmary. All right, so let's roll crew. Okay, that's not too bad. Let's use one commander, re-roll tactical, and I can do 3 points of damage. Only need 2, clear the Strike Bomber, and I guess that's it. Can't do anything else this turn. So let's escalate, and then I will roll for threat. Well, the scout can't do anything on its own, but I'll roll anyway. Got a 1. Can't do anything with that. No worries. Let's roll for crew. Let's see if we can keep the board clear. Wow, that's... okay, that's a bad early roll. All right, so immediately 3 scanners. New threat comes out. Panel explosion, which... let me just slide over a little bit here. Make sure I'm staying in shot. Panel explosion, which will stop me from placing engineers, and I've got 3 crew left. Sorry, I'll return those. Interesting. Well, let's clear panel explosion with this medical officer. So that's great. And I can't do a ton in terms of damage, so let's just move on. I could stasis beam the scout, but it well, you know what? Let's stasis beam the scout because I am going to roll a threat, escalate here before rolling a new threat. All right, shield platform. So again, I can't really get hit here. There's no threats that can activate. Better rolls. All right, let's lock a scanner. And all right, this I can do something with. Let's turn both of these officers into tactical and do 3 points of damage. I can only attack the shield platform because it protects other external threats, and I'll do 3 points of damage to it. And I'll use this medical officer to clear that locked scanner. All right, new threat. Cloaked threats. This is really funny. It's a lot of interactions that don't result in us ever being able to take damage. I'll roll threat, but technically nothing, even though cloak threats can activate, it can't do anything. All right, let's roll 6 dice. There we go. Okay, locking up a scanner again. I definitely want to clear cloaked threats. You don't want to leave that out. That's a real pain. And then why don't I go ahead and... ooh, I've got this phone charger in the shot. Sorry. Why don't I go ahead and use these 2 commanders. I'll reassign to tactical. That'll give me 3 points of damage. 1, and then 2 for the second one. 1, 2, 3. And clearing the threats off the board is always good. That's my modus operandi. All right, boarding ship. And finally something that can do damage. And it does damage. All right, 1, 2 points of hull damage. And I say this probably every time, but that send to infirmary doesn't activate on the ship activation. That happens if I use a tactical dice to clear this like an away mission. So yeah, take 2 points of damage. Let's go. I've got 5 crew available. Yikes. 2 bad rolls early on here. So that's going to give me a new threat immediately. Cosmic Existentialism. And return, and then I'll have to lock 1 more dice. So I only have 2 dice to work with here. That's a rough one. I think I can write it out. I think I can write it out. I'm just going to unlock the scanner, not use the engineer. Let's pull a new threat for end of turn, and then let's roll. And on a 1, nobody activates, so that's fine with me. Let's see what we got here. Hopefully we get some better rolls. We can actually do something here. Nope. Alright, so I can definitely place 1 science officer, clear cosmic existentialism, and now be able to place these other science officers, which is really important. Let's use 1 medical to clear 1 scanner, and then I'll just stasis beam. I'll stasis beam the boarding ship. I'll recharge the shields. Yeah, that makes sense to me, because I'm getting 2 points of shield back with that 1 science officer versus preventing 1 damage from a fighter. Alright, let's escalate. Raiders. That's a little rough. They do ignore shields, which when you have a lot of hull can be not a big deal. But we're starting to stack up 4s. 4s are always dangerous. On a 5, luckily, nothing activates, so I think I'm in the clear. Let's take my 5 available crew, and let's roll. And let's see here. I've got, well, I think what I want to do, yeah, it's a little tough. I think what I want to do is I'm going to send one of these guys to the infirmary so I can reassign to tactical. That'll give me 3 points of damage. And I'm always saying clear hull threats. So raiders, 1, 2, fighter, 1. That's leaving a big scary boarding ship up on the board, but I couldn't clear it. All I could do was damage it. So better to just have fewer activations on the table. And then I'll use these 2 medical officers, 1 to return from the infirmary, 1 to unlock the scanner. And that's a pretty productive turn. Alright, we got the meteoroid. And the meteoroid, it's kind of a weird one. I'm going to try to manage that carefully, and if we're lucky, I'll be able to trigger it when I'm ready to deal with it. Alright, we got a commander. 2 commanders, 2 science, 2 medical. Well, that's not really what I need. I need damage. Let's say I use these 2 commanders to reassign tactical. Well, and I can spend 1 of those tactical to just clear the boarding ship, send him to the infirmary. I've got enough medical, so I can bring him back out. That's not a big deal. I'll use another one of the tactical officers. Well, actually, I only get 1 point of damage because I'm only assigning 1 officer here. So 1 point of damage off the meteoroid, and then I'll use my medical officer, return that away mission from the infirmary. And I think that will do it. Let's see here. Quick adjustment. Okay, yeah. Let's pull another threat out. We got some space pirates, and I will roll for threat. On a 2, luckily nothing activates. Alright, got my full crew back. Let's see what we got. 1 scanner. Still no damage. Need to do some damage, so I'm going to reassign. Well, yeah, I'll reassign you to tactical. I'll send the engineer to infirmary and reassign you to tactical. I'll use the medical to return, and I've got 3 points of damage. Let's clear 1, 2. No more space pirates. And 3, the last point of damage. We'll ping it off the meteoroid. Ideally, I'll be able to take the meteoroid off the board when I've got an available science officer. I can bring my shields back online right away. So that's the ideal situation for me. All right, hijackers come out. And on a 5, they do activate 1, 2 points of hull damage, and nothing else. All right, here we go. Oh, let me clear that. What a weird roll. All right, so immediately we get a new threat. Rolling through the dice. Let's see here. Sorry, I keep moving things around because I'm using yet another new setup. Have to socket one of my dice in there. Can't get them back until I roll a 3 or 4 or I use 2 medical. I kind of don't want to send a bunch of people to the infirmary. I think what I want to do is just stasis beam, recharge my shields. And the reason I'm stasis beaming the meteoroid is because I want to control when this thing takes damage. All right. Oh, before I roll threat, let's pull out a new one. More raiders. And on a 5, you would have activated, but you don't because you're stasis beamed. So I'm in the clear. Let's roll my available crew, and hopefully we can undistract that last one. Let's see here. Okay. We've got a lot of work to do and not a lot of tools to do it with. I think it's not really worth my time to halfway commit to getting this done. I think I need to do damage. So I'm going to reassign this medical officer to tactical. That'll give me 3 points on the board. I'm going to clear this raiders 1, 2, and ping the hijackers, put them within striking distance of, a pair of tacticals is a pretty common thing for me to get in a turn. And I will use this science officer to stasis beam the hijackers. Now, before I roll, I gotta pull out a new threat. Invaders. Hate to see it. All right, here we go. And on a 4, I do get this dice back, but then I have to then immediately send somebody to the infirmary. So I'll just move him from one holding cell to the next. And you would activate, but your stasis beamed. Nothing else to activate, so we're clear there. Still stuck on 4 dice. Not ideal. All right. So I think what we do is we take kind of a risky tack. I'm going to send you to the infirmary, reassign tactical, clear invaders, use my medical officer to bring everybody back. So I should have a good chance to roll well next round, as long as I don't get hit too hard. Hey, I don't panic. That's a really nice time to get a don't panic. Here we go. On a 5, you do activate. I take 2 points of damage, 1, 2, from the hijackers. And that meteoroid is still hanging around. But now I've got 5 crew back. Alrighty. Haven't had much use for engineers this game. Haven't been taking a lot of direct hull damage. I'm wondering if I can do something with that. I think I'm going to need to. I'm going to send you to the infirmary, reassign tactical. I've got 3 points of damage here. So let's clear the hijackers off the board. 1, 2, 3. And what's more important? I think it's more important to bring you back from the infirmary and recharge my shields, because I always prioritize infirmary over scanners, because the infirmary only ever gets cleared if I clear it, whereas the scanners, if I roll badly enough, those dice will come back. All right, 4, the meteoroid doesn't activate. Oh, sorry. Let me leave that there so I don't forget. Should have pulled a new activation, so that's bad. This is not a good combination. But on a 4, the nebula takes 1 point of damage. And I'm back on the whatchamacallit. I'm back on track. Right. Back in my loop. Let's pull my dice. Lock up another scanner. Alright. So I just got to do damage. Let's use the commander, reassign tactical, do 1 point of damage to the nebula, which will bring my shields back online, but at 0. I will use a science officer to bring this back up. and use a medical officer to unlock a scanner. So that meteoroid's still hanging out, still could be a problem. It's a bomb waiting to go off. And now ones are real scary. I always jinx myself at least once per episode. All right, the meteoroid's going to take 1 damage, and the destroyer is going to do 3 points of damage. 1, 2, 3. And I think that's it. That's it. All right, just locking, unlocking, locking, unlocking. Let's see here. Gotta think this through. Well, I do need to do some damage, but I don't have the science officers to bring my shields back online. So I kind of want to take a risky play here. And I'm going to send you to the infirmary, reassign tactical. And now I can do 1, 2 points of damage. I'm going to opt to not do the third, because then I would take 4 points of hull damage. Well, what is smart? What is smart? Something could be coming out right now, and it could be pretty bad. That would put me at 5 health, 5 hull points, and then so I don't think there's something that could kill me. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do the 3rd point of damage to this meteoroid. We'll use this medical officer returned from the infirmary. And then, oh, almost forgot. Gotta do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can take 4 more hits. What have we got? Orbital cannon. All right. Orbital cannon on an empty board is not too scary. Let's roll for threat. Wow, bad luck. 1, 2. So I'm real close. That was a real gamble, and maybe it wasn't the smart gamble to take. But we really got to do some defensive work here. All right, that'll do something. I'm going to immediately do 1 damage here. Clear the orbital cannon, which I can do because it's the only threat on the board. I'm going to use 1 commander to tell the other commander to get your shields back online, and then use this engineer to claw back 1 more point of hull strength. All right, new threat. Solar winds. See, this is the one that could have done me in. I knew there was something in there. I'm just going to put this up at 4 just so I don't forget to check activation, but it doesn't actually have any health. All right, let's roll. And on a 4, it doesn't activate, which is great. All right, let's roll my 4 crew. And let's tweak this movement. All right, there we go. So good and bad. Immediate new threat for 3 scanners, but I get those dice back next round. All right, and then I've got a commander, an engineer, and a scientist. I kind of think this isn't a terrible time for me to just bring my hull back up. 1, 2, 3, so up to 6 points. And let's see what you got in store for me. Boost morale. So that's not too bad, but since it is a threat, technically, I don't have to draw another card. All right, let's roll. On a 4, I do have to take 1 point of hull damage and send somebody to the infirmary, and nothing else activates. All right. So still got 5 crew. I'm in better shape health-wise, but I have a lot of damage to deal out here. All right. Well, I certainly want to do damage to the strike bomber. I definitely want to bring someone back. Like, I'm going to be bringing this guy back from the infirmary. So let's send someone there so I can reassign you to tactical. And I can do 2 points of damage needed to clear that. I can't do damage to solar winds, doesn't have health. Let's use the medical officer to bring these guys back from the infirmary. And repair 1 more point of hull damage. So we're bringing it back defensively. Robot uprising. Yikes. Okay. So ironically, this is one of the rare occasions where a 4 is a safe roll. And there's a 1. Going to send somebody to the infirmary. And I don't think anything else activates. Well, let's go here. Ooh, here we go. All right. New scanner. Well, I can definitely clear the robot uprising. I can reprogram those robots with an engineer, so that's great. I think I'm actually going to reassign tactical. Almost never do that. 2 medical, 1 to bring this guy back from the infirmary, 1 to unlock the scanner, and hopefully I'll have a full set of dice next round. Hey, don't panic. You'll love to see it. I'll roll for threat to see if anything goes off. On a 3, nothing does. All right. Okay. New scanner. Complement of commanders. Don't really have much going on. Let's just use our die. I'm going to reassign you to an engineer. Well, I only need 1 commander, actually. Reassign you to an engineer. Hull points back. Recharge the shields, the 1 point we lost. Use the medical officer to unlock a scanner. And that's about all I can do. I just have to wait for the solar winds to proc. I can't really do anything to it. Interceptors, not nice to see, but like most things, if it's the only thing on the board, it's not that bad. On a 3, I take 1 point of damage from the interceptor, and that's it. All right, scanner. Let's see here. So I'm definitely going to reassign one of you to tactical. I don't think I can really afford to send somebody to the infirmary, can I? Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to ride having my shield ping down 2 points of damage so I can clear the interceptor. 1, 2, 3. Use the medical officer, bring you back from the infirmary. Another don't panic. Great. Let's roll to see if the solar winds go off. On a 6, I can return a scanner and clear boost morale. So that's nice. And nothing else activates. All right, here we go. Well, that's not a great roll. 2 scanners. I guess realistically, there's not much for me to do here. Gonna reassign you to medical, unlock 1 die. That's the end of what I can do. Let's pull out the next threat. We got a strike bomber, and let's roll. On a 3, take 1 point of hull damage, send somebody back to the infirmary. That's a bummer. All right, we do have 4. We do have 4 crew available, so let's see what we can do. Well, I'm going to re-roll that one. Alright, so I've got immediately new threat and a couple scanners. Okay. Hey, don't panic. I'm not going to use this commander because what I want to do is just do whatever damage I can. So I'll ping the strike bomber down, pull up the next threat. Alright, we got a fighter. Let's see here. Oh, that's just my phone restarting. Let's see here. We've got Sorry, excuse that interruption. All right. I've got a fighter and a roll threat. On a 4, take 1 more point of damage, send someone else to the infirmary. And I think that's... Oh, that's not it. Take 1 more point of damage from the fighter. Yeah, I think that's it. All right. Sorry, I got distracted there. All right, we've got this here. And let's see here. Definitely going to bring my shields back online. And let's just do some damage. Let's get this strike bomber out of there. It keeps sending people to the infirmary. Can't have that. Flagship. So big boys are starting to come out. I'm just going to slide this solar winds around just to keep space. Not really, relevant exactly where it is. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. I just realized when I knocked that stand. All right, let's roll threat. So on a 5, take 3 points of damage from the flagship. 1, 2, 3. Solar Winds doesn't activate. Fighter doesn't activate. Let's pull my 3 dice. Rolls have not been with me today. Lock another crew member. Not a lot of options. Charge your shields. Bring your crew back from the infirmary. That's kind of the only thing you can do. Let's pull the next threat. An assault cruiser. Again, you hate to see it. 4s, really dangerous. 5s, just slightly less dangerous. All right, here we go. And on a 2, I actually proc Solar Winds. So discard that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of damage. So 1 point off the hull. And then on the other two activation is the fighter. Take 1 more point of damage. So that's really not great. But I do have 4 crew back. Let's see what we can make happen. What we can make happen is an immediate new threat. More fighters. Okay. Well, I think you gotta get your shields back online. So I think you send somebody to infirmary to reassign science, recharge your shields, do 1 point of damage. They're not the biggest threat, but I want to clear these fighters. I only got 1 point of damage. If I had more damage, maybe I'd start picking somebody else. But you know what? I'm gonna stick to my strategy. Stick to the strategy, stick to the strategy, stick to the strategy. All right. New threat, pandemic. There are, well, actually I was going to say no safe rolls, but actually a 3 is safe. Just for once, I'd love to jinx myself in the right way. All right. On a 5, flagship activates. 1, 2, 3 points of damage. Assault cruiser. 1, 2. And that's it. So, not looking great. It's not the worst position I've ever been in this game, but not looking great. All right, lock a scanner. It's not really what you need. Let's definitely recharge the shields. Not even really going to question that. And I think rather than repair the hull, I want to do damage. Let's get some damage out there. Let's knock this down 2 points and clear the fighter. So that's 3 points of damage spread out, but I've knocked the flagship within striking range of 2 dice, basically. All right, next threat, which threat that's getting kind of low. Okay, don't panic. We could really use that. Come on, 2s and 3s. Hey, a 3. All right, nothing activates. Let's do some work. Not like that. Wow, okay. These have just been the worst rolls. Just threat after threat after threat. All right. Again, I think the main thing you got to do is just do some damage. I'm going to bring the flagship within even closer striking range. Pull out the next threat. Got a Corsair. See, this is what I'm talking about. 4, 5s, and 6s getting real scary. 2s and 3s, 2s and 3s, and a 5. This might be enough damage to take me out all in one go. All right, so 2 damage off the assault cruiser. 1, 2. 2 damage off the assault cruiser. 1, 2. 2 damage off the corsair. 1, 2. 3 damage off the flagship. That's it. 1, 2, 3, and we are kablooey. Well, that was a rough end. I think it was just the rolls just weren't with me today. But if you enjoyed watching, it would really help me out if you could hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to, get notified about more videos that I post. I try to post every week, at least once a week. This has been Game on the Table, and I've been playing Deep Space D6. Have a good one.